Hi, my name is Jacob Lamoureux. I'm a senior at Blair High School and I plan on studying civil engineering in college. I think that the Scott Scholar program is the best place for me to pursue my degree because I know that the Scott Scholar program attracts people who are intelligent, hardworking, and work well as a team. And while I believe that these three attributes apply to myself, I also know how valuable it can be to work with people who share these qualities. For example, this year in my calculus class, our teacher has strongly encouraged us to work together outside of class to understand concepts. And we've taken his advice, and me and my fellow classmates have gotten together at somebody's house and we've had calc nights where we work on our homework and we just study together to understand difficult concepts and problems. And there have been so many different concepts that I wouldn't have been able to understand without the help of my fellow classmates, and being able to help other classmates understand things that they haven't been able to understand. And because of this, I think that being in the Scott Scholar program with fellow engineering students, it would be very helpful for me to be successful in school, and not just in school, but in my career and in my life after college as well. The second part of the application asks for responses to 5 different questions, but I think I'm going to go a little out of order, and I'm going to start with the 5th question, which asks, what's the most important thing you've learned in high school? For me, that has been to always be myself and don't worry about what other people think of me. When I first got to high school, I was so worried about what other people thought of me that I thought if I didn't do everything perfect to fit in, that no one was going to want to be friends with me. When I was first signing up for classes for high school, I looked at the class list and I saw choir on the class list, and I thought that choir sounded like a lot of fun, and I thought it sounded like fun to learn how to sing, but I was worried about being labeled as the choir kid, and I thought that people were going to make fun of me, so I decided not to do choir. But then when I got to Blair, I made friends with a group of guys, and wouldn't you know it, all of them were in choir. And that just made me realize that I didn't see them getting made fun of for being in choir. In fact, they weren't embarrassed about being in choir, they loved it. And I saw how much fun they were having, and I realized that I had made a mistake. So the next year, I signed up for choir, and I've been doing it ever since. And this has happened to me so many other times in high school. One of my friends was in the SDOAs, which is the student-directed one-acts, and I went and watched him, and it looked like so much fun, and they were so funny that the next year I tried out for them, and I had so much fun, and now I've been doing drama things ever since, and I saw my friends doing show choir and so many other things. And that's just taught me how important it is to be involved in things that you want to be involved in. And don't be afraid of what other people think of you, because doing the things that you want to do will build your confidence, and it's taught me so many other valuable skills through being involved. In drama, I've learned how to improvise and think on my feet. And I think that this is a skill that has allowed me to overcome challenges that don't go according to plan, as question number 2 asks. One example of this was in my junior year, I did a play called Artifice. And during Artifice, there was a part of the play where me and my castmate Olivia had to put the villain inside a closet. The problem was that the closet door got stuck shut. Well, obviously the show must go on, so me and Olivia were standing by the closet door trying to tug it open, but the scene was getting stuck and the audience was going to start noticing that something was going wrong. So rather than let that happen, I decided to make a joke and imply that Olivia was supposed to have fixed the door a long time ago, and she was able to make a joke about it too, and we were able to fill that empty space. And while we filled the empty space, our stage manager was able to crawl into the closet from the behind and push the door open. and we were able to save the scene, and thanks to being able to think on our feet and improvise. I believe that questions 1 and 3, which are how have I been an effective leader and how I've worked collaboratively to impact a community or organization, can both apply to another thing that I've been involved with for a long time, which is the Boy Scouts. Boy Scouts is something that isn't related to school, but it's something that I've been involved with ever since 2nd grade when I started Cub Scouts until 5th grade when I crossed over from Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts. And it's provided a lot of service opportunities, and I've come to realize that volunteering with service projects is not the same as leading these service projects. And with that, learning how to lead has been a learning curve. There have been many times where I've been in a leadership position, and it hasn't exactly gone according to plan. One example of leadership being a learning experience that's also just a funny story is a couple years back, we were at a winter camporee, and one of the activities was building a giant catapult. And we were all working together to build it, and I was in charge as I was the senior patrol leader. And I saw a group of boys off climbing up a hill, and so I yelled at them to come over and help, except for when they turned around, I realized that they were not part of our troop, and they were just a group of confused boys wondering why they were getting yelled at. And in the end, it was just a funny experience in realizing that as a leader, you're going to make mistakes, and the important thing is just to move on and to make them constructive. But I would say a time that I was an effective leader is when I earned my Eagle Scout, the rank of Eagle Scout. And part of the rank of Eagle Scout is planning and executing a project. And my project was to build a Gaga ball pit, my old grade school, St. James. This project had I would say, an amazingly positive impact on the school. I have siblings that are still at St. James, and I always love hearing them come home and they talk about how they're at recess and all of their friends are wanting to play Gaga ball at recess and how everybody is playing it. And the school posted on Facebook about how the principal went out and played Gaga ball with the students, and there was even a fundraiser that the school did where they had an opportunity to bid, and the winner of the bid got to play Gaga ball with the teachers. So it's been cool to be able to see how the project has had a positive impact on the school. And I would say that this project was not just a positive impact on the community, but it was also a great leadership opportunity for me. When we went to build the project, we had a wide range of people helping us. There were like 5th grade boys who were full of energy, and there were like high schoolers that were my age that were more skilled. And so part of being a leader that I learned from this project is that not everybody has the same set of skills. And so not all of the little fifth graders were as skilled at like running a power drill or certain jobs as an older helper might be. So it was important for me to learn to give jobs that those people were able to do, and not just give out jobs to people without considering their skills. Another thing as a leader that I learned is how to take a step back while leading, because it was easy for me to look at something, and if somebody was struggling to do a task, if I knew how I wanted it done, my instinct was just to jump in and just do it for them. But I had to tell myself to back up, and I had to tell myself to just show them how to do it, but don't do it for them. And another thing I learned as a leader is that there were a lot of adults there that taught me so much over my career as a scout that were willing to help, but I had to tell myself, and I had to realize that I had to be a leader, and I had to be confident and trust in the plan that I had put so much time into developing, and not just rely on them to do the project for me, but allow myself to be the leader. And by doing all of these things, I was able to build and create a project that I'm able to look back on and be really proud of today. The last question on the application, or technically the fourth question, is how I'm planning to make a transformative contribution to society. And I think this relates to why I want to be an engineer. And the reason that I want to be an engineer is because my dad is also a civil engineer. So all throughout my life, I've been inspired by what he's done and the projects that he's done. And not only just the cool things that he's been able to build, but the fact that he does it in a way that keeps the people who are working on these projects safe and making sure that everything is done as safe as possible. I remember one project that he worked on, there was a girder that dropped, and he had to fly out and he had to figure out how to fix the situation, and he had to figure out how they were going to do it going forward so that it didn't happen again and everyone stayed safe. And that's the kind of contribution I want to have to society. And I want to be able to not only make cool things that people are able to use, but also be safe in doing those projects. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you can consider me for the scholarship. And either way, thank you.